welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is Dalton. I'm your host, and together we are Resolutions Healthcare. Our inpatient facility in Chatfield is called Hidden Oaks. We are hidden. We are out in Chatfield on 46 acres, and it's peaceful, serene, a great place for healing and your recovery to start. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. Today we're going to be discussing two blogs that my CEO and our Chief Clinical Officer and our guest on the show today, Vinny Strumolo, wrote. You can find all these blogs and podcasts and info about our treatment centers at resolutionshealthcare.com. We have a Facebook, an Instagram, a YouTube, all under that name, Resolutions Healthcare or Hidden Oaks Ranch. So without any further ado, let me introduce my guest to you today. We have Vinny Bossman Strumolo, and we have our current client who has graced us with his presence today and wanted to come on the podcast. Actually brought it up to us that he wanted to jump on here and say a few things. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Vinny. Where you want to start at, boss?
The two blogs, one is Putting Others on a Pedestal, and the other one is I Can't Live Without You, were two blogs that resonated with me, I'd say, in my own experiences, in my younger years to where I am now, and it kind of is an issue that I think plays a big role in in your life, in relationships, and in the mental health and addiction world.
Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get going. As to why you're here on the podcast today.
I'm Ryan, and I've had the privilege to sit in this morning, so I thank both of you. Um, so, putting others on pedestals, I think from an early age, I was brought up in a very blessed home, and I had this picture perfect world set out as I got older that I wanted to emulate that at all costs. So, as things progressed in my life and things kind of fell apart, I learned quickly that having that thought of keeping that perfect world doesn't always go the way you want it. So it's not advisable to keep your expectations that high all the time.
Yeah, boss has a quote that everybody likes to hang on to. Um, Expect for nothing and hope for something. We definitely, I don't want to say we and talk about everybody else, but I definitely can see in my current life and in my past where I have put people on a pedestal, um, and I can see the dangers of that now. So you have our blog book right now. You've been reading through it, so it sounds like you've seen some similarities in these with your own life and ways to connect the dots.
Yes, absolutely. I also had the privilege of doing an IOP for 8 weeks through Hidden Oaks that we went through these blogs pretty intensely. So it was a good thing.
Good, good. I want to start with putting others on a pedestal. Subtitle: Over idolizing others in our lives, another distorted belief. Boss, can you tell us just the basics? What is over idolizing people?
Okay. This blog actually was inspired by a child I worked with, an 11-year-old way back in the 1990s, when she was removed from the home. Over idealizing, we have a tendency to do that with people in our lives that we love and then are removed from. In this case, child was removed from the mom, even though the mom was very abusive, the child being removed suddenly started putting the mom in this on this pedestal of I need to see my mom, she's wonderful. Nothing that was accurately depicting the home situation. The more everyone said you cannot see her, the more she wanted to see her. So there's the over idealizing, raising up a belief system that's just not reality. Long story short, it goes back to what I always say to you all too. Watch what we wish for, but I gave her her wish of seeing the mom and visiting, and it only took 2 visits before she no longer wanted to have any more visits and realized this is not what I thought it would be.
Right.
So there, what I call that, that's normalizing now. Now it's bringing that down to a normal, accurate picture of her life. So fast forward to today. How does this topic play into roles at our addiction center? Well, same thing with I Can't Live Without You, the other blog,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't talk about one without the other. And to break it to its simplest form, the more content or the more peace, inner peace you have, or the more you have done work on self-worth, and the less likely you are to do these kind of the over idealizing and putting others on a pedestal. So you have a lower self-worth, your tendency is going to be to put other people higher up. In relationships, and what we see here at the center and in mental health, in the mental health world, in relationships, that may play out to someone feeling like, um, hey, I did better than I expected, or I'm getting way more, this person is too good for me. That's showing my self worth is less. I'm putting them higher up on the pedestal,
Mm-hmm.
leading to I can't live without you, leading to the expectation, okay, that my problems are solved because now I'm in this relationship with someone who fulfills me and I can't live without them. And then suddenly the real world enters, problems enter, relationship ends, they crash and burn.
Right.
Okay. And they take the fall.
You hit on low self worth in there. And one of the things that stood out to me in this essay blog, past unresolved traumas and life events can lead, most of the time they do lead to insecurity and low self worth, which in turn can lead to over idolizing people, places, and
Right.
things. Um, you know, I have struggled with insecurity and low self worth due to injuries that I've sustained and handicaps that I have. And I can catch myself looking at other people being, man, oh, that person's so good, or man, they're so much better than me. Why'd I get in that stupid bull riding accident? Why'd I get in that stupid car wreck? And now I can't be like that. And I just over idolize
Right.
these people in my life to a point where it hurts me. But I had to get to a point where I make peace with the accidents. I make peace with what I've been through, and I become happy with me and who I am, so I'm not reaching to other people.
And right there, that should be, it's not I can't live without you. It should be I don't want to live without you because my life is more fulfilled and I'm happier with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if it did end, I'd go back to still being happy with my life and content, which leads to the new blog, which I haven't posted yet, with Are You Happy? If not, why not? So the point here is whenever I hear someone say, "I can't live without you," it's like taking your nails across the chalkboard. That's how it sounds to me because I know the danger in that statement. I know if anyone is saying that or listening and has said that, seek help.
Mm.
Learn what makes you feel like you can't live without someone else in their life because that's telling me your low self-worth
Yeah.
and you really don't care as much about yourself as I want you to. So that's a key phrase, and putting others on the pedestal is the kind of the fallout from the low self-worth, which ties these all in.
Right. You got anything on that, Ryan?
My self-worth over the last 18 years has been very low. I've been working on that, but just like I said, from an early age, pretty much being domesticated as, you know, seeing what I saw with my family and just just putting them on a pedestal, it just sets you up for failure.
Failure.
Yeah.
That and that's a good point. And knowing Ryan, and we've spoke before, and we've worked on these issues before. Yeah, it's important what he said because I have a lot of people in my trauma group that say I haven't had any traumatic events or life events.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a great house.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Everybody was successful. Everybody went to college or blah, and they keep going on, and they walk themselves right into one of the events I talk about are family dynamics. So you can have a house that there wasn't any abuse or anything other than an extreme amount of stress on performance, say.
Okay.
You have to perform, or this is what happiness is. This is what successful is. I grew up in middle class probably, but I didn't have any. There were no abuse issues, but there were sure beliefs about what happiness is, what you do in life. I still remember my mom saying, "What does happiness have to do with it?" Kind of, sort of. You work and you get married and you have a family, and that's it. What does happiness have to do with that?
That's just what you do.
Well, yeah, and see, when you start with that's how we create our beliefs about what. Okay, so if I don't do that, is there something wrong with me? Um, am I supposed to? Okay, have, or is there another choice for me that says, okay, well, wait a minute, that's a belief system, but it's not the only belief system. I have found, all right, now I get educated, I get more exposed to the world, my beliefs change.
Right.
Now now I have a clash of the belief of what I grew up with and the bar set and the belief I really feel now. So there's where you have to kind of develop and recognize where that would come from that would make you want to put someone else on a pedestal or say, I can't live without someone else. So family stressors or high bars being set can very much make people crash and burn. It's easier sometimes. We have client under that stress will crash and burn. It's easier to give up. If I give up, I don't have to perform.
Right.
So that's a danger that we talked about, and I think we've even talked about that a little bit,
Yeah, we
Ryan.
have.
Ryan, you played ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you play?
I played baseball. I was mainly a wrestler though in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to college any?
I did not.
Playing? You didn't.
I did not.
Just high school ball.
Correct.
What was? Were you driven? Were you driven to perform by your family at that point in anything, or by yourself? And do you think that adds anything to being low, having low self-worth, or being insecure when you don't perform as you should?
Just growing up, my dad was pretty much my coach throughout, like Pee Wee leagues and elementary ball. So he was always the coach, and vice versa. Instead of making me like the special one and treating me with like white gloves, he was more hard on me than anybody else.
Yeah.
So there was always that expectation of me performing better than everybody else on the team. And yeah,
So therefore, I mean, you take that and run with that. We even had that with when we had Morris on with the sports, but the pressures of that. Did you ever find where it's just easier to give up? Because once you give up, it's kind of the pressure's off. But see, then that
You're
adds
not held
to,
to that standard anymore.
but then that adds to your self worth. Now,
Right.
correct,
I failed.
correct.
Once you say I failed, now you're again, you're becoming now vulnerable and at a point now where I failed, I'm a failure. Um, there's the self worth, the low self worth. Then you meet someone, boom, and they pick you up. Oh, it's like, you know what? Hey, this person fulfills me. To me, that's a red flag. To some people, they search for that. And
Hmm.
that's what scares me when I see that because all you're doing there is the expectation. And once a person, place, or thing, once you build your worth on a person, place, or thing outside of yourself, you are now in danger of crashing and burning. Like we've often seen with depression, anxiety, then breaking down to even then putting out the fire and the symptoms with addictions. And now you're going down that rabbit hole, and sometimes you don't come out of it.
Hmm.
So there's where there's where the danger of again the low self-worth kind of sets you up for looking at external for an answer instead of internal.
Yeah, you say it in your blog. It's about being comfortable and happy in your own life. If you're not happy, if you're not comfortable in your own life, you can't put that on somebody else to fulfill that happiness within you.
But
I
yet
like
we
that.
do.
We do. And I like that you say you're codependent by choice.
Right. No, right.
I love that one.
That's one that riles some people up in my colleagues.
Oh yeah.
However, I'm making a point by saying that, and the point, since you brought it up, let me now make the point. I say I'm codependent by choice because I don't mind giving up a lot of my independence. I meet someone that makes me happier. I want to give up and be part and have a mutual relationship. That's wonderful. But I also know if it comes to an end, I fall back and I'm still comfortable and independent and happy. That's the whole point, and what I bring up in groups, and Ryan has been in those groups where I talk, it's as simple as that. If you work, it's okay. Look, it's okay. If you're struggling, all right, well, Vinny's talking about self worth. How do I build my self worth? Well, you build your self worth is by doing the work. Read, seek counseling, but you can do it by your own reading. Understand whenever you start questioning and seeing the grass is always greener or talking with people and getting angry at other people, start looking towards yourself as what's making you get angry because the answers are inside you. And as long as you keep it, the fact that you need to keep everything inside you and build inside you out, you will be on the right path. The minute you feel you have given up your happiness because it depends on the world around me, my relationship, school, life, money. material things. We can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And they're all setups for if you lose them, you have now described how you're going to crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Yeah, there's a flip side to that when you said codependent by choice and you allow people into your lives that you want there because they better you. Over the years, I'm on the flip side of that. I allow people into my lives because I'm filling a void. So I have these relationships that, unfortunately, I was divorced probably about 18 years ago, and I've had three relationships since then, and it's always just trying to fill a void, and I'm very codependent. So to try to build my self-worth up, I'm bringing somebody else in that's no longer bettering me, but kind of at the same level as me. Um, so
That's a good point.
So what are you realize what you're doing wrong? Have you started to implement anything to fix that in a more healthy way?
yeah, just working on myself. Myself comes first now these days, and though there's a lot of work to do, just
Since you brought it, but it's a good point because I do know you for now. It's well over a year,
yeah,
correct? And Dalton know you. Um, I think you coming on and your journey kind of bridges and is an example of what I'm writing about here. Because you're coming out, you described it already. You're coming out of a household. Okay, the belief system, marriage is what you strive for, right? You're supposed to be married or you're playing ball, you're doing what you feel your parents wanted you to do, and okay, I'm doing this. You meet someone, you get married, right? You have children, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do, right, by your family system.
yeah,
So when the marriage didn't work, and I am divorced myself, and I was insecure back in those days, so I can relate to it. When it doesn't work, low self-esteem will be, I failed.
It's my fault.
I failed. I must have done something wrong. I'm no good. I'm bad. Boom. Symptoms, depression, anxiety. Boom. Run to alcohol, drugs, gambling, whatever. There's the progression. As opposed to now, for me, post my own life event,
Mm-hmm.
feeling better about myself, a better self worth, codependent by choice, where before I wasn't by choice, for me now. Codependent by choice now, it's something where no, the relationship didn't work. Okay, that's okay. That's life. We're different. We hit it off for a while, but you know what? I'm not happy anymore with this person, and we ended our relationship. And I'm okay with that. And we kind of and exit in a civil way, and we move on with our lives, and it's okay. As opposed to, I failed. No, I didn't fail. The marriage didn't work or the relationship didn't work. Now, if children are involved, there's where we get into now. You get into again the fact of how civil and the kind of the things that now enter that make it complicated. But if again your self worth is it's okay, I feel good. You're not going to use your children to kind of play both parties against each other. You're not going to do all the things that an insecure and person with low self worth will do. If you're already in that mix, how do you get out of it? Again, you have to turn it in. It's not easy. There's no way this work is easy. As Ryan, I think, would profess, right?
absolutely.
There's nothing easy about this work. It wasn't easy for me in my mid years when I went through what I went through. It wasn't easy for you, Bear, when what you described you went through, and we're still working on it.
Right.
There's no end to this. I still feel at times insecure, but I know how to process it out now. I know how to work it through. So there's the difference, knowing the progression, the healthier way to to kind of normalize over idealizing, to normalize it, to challenge my belief and say, no, you know what? That's not accurate.
All right, we're getting to the end here, so I want you to go a little deeper on when you get those when you start feeling insecure. What you said you know how to process through them now. Can you take me through that process, through that experience?
Yes, let's take a day in the life of Vinny, the CEO at Hidden Oaks,
Okay.
and I have my leadership team, you all.
Hmm.
I'm making, I don't know, 20 decisions today, maybe relating to all of you in the business. I can pray I get 15, 16 right. I'll take it. But I still have to recognize, hey, you know what? I got 3 or 4 wrong. I could have done better with those. Now, do I let those 3 or 4 that I start beating myself about saying, darn, I should not have done that. The shoulda, coulda, would have, which is another whole blog.
Right.
But the shoulda, coulda, would have. I have to stop. So the first thing you have to do is stop once you start. Ryan, last week, what did I say? Stop spinning.
Yes.
You're spinning. You're spinning on the 3 or 4 decisions that I'm punishing myself now because I should have done better. Okay, I go through the progression. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I can forgive myself for making those 3, 4 mistakes. Maybe I'll backtrack. Maybe the next morning I'll apologize to you, Bear, because I yelled at you for some reason and it's my issue, not yours. I'm sorry, Bear. I should not, I could have done better than that. That's a progression. That's a progression. I feel better now about it. I owned it and I'm going to do better next time. So next time that happens, I'm going to remember, that happened before. This is the progression of what you need. Stop. So when you start spinning in your head, stop. Recognize no one is perfect. No, nobody here, nobody I've ever met is perfect. Um, Stop and start looking within. Know that insecurity and low self worth will drive a lot of these issues.
Hmm.
And know that you have to recognize we are normal. We're going to make mistakes. It's okay. And we have to continuously grow and turn it in and stop blaming everybody else for my shortcomings or my mistakes.
Ooh, that part. That's a good part.
Well, that's what you have to do. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
Whenever you get triggered, stop saying, well, they made me. They got me angry. Well, okay, they may have gotten you angry because they said something. Figure out why you got angry then.
Right.
So turn it back to yourself. If you do not do that, you're off and running. You will stay the same. You will stay stagnant. You will never grow. And there we go. Emotionally frozen in time.
Mm.
Another podcast that we have
Great.
done.
Great lesson. Thank you for walking us through that. Before we get off, Ryan, do you have anything else that you would like to speak about?
Yeah, I just want to talk to anybody that's possibly looking to get into treatment or is struggling out there. Hidden Oaks has completely changed my life, and this is the kind of stuff that you don't get at other treatment facilities. Having the opportunity to do stuff like this, where my alcoholism, that's an unhealthy ground with dealing with stuff on a day-to-day basis. Here we really dig down deep and get to the root cause of the problems. And like I said, this was a privilege, you guys allowing me to sit down with you
Yeah.
this morning.
I'm
And
glad you came.
yeah,
Well, I give you a lot of credit for putting it out there and doing that.
A lot of people, a lot of people can talk about you got to work an honest program, but you're actually walking it out. You're actually living it out. So props to you on that, man.
appreciate it.
And the new blog will kind of capture both of these blogs
Yeah.
once I post it later on today.
Yeah, later on today. Check it out this week sometime at resolutionshealthcare.com. There's a pull down for our blogs, there's a pull down for our podcast. You can see pictures and info about Hidden Oaks, our inpatient facility. And until the next time, y'all take it easy and be safe. We'll see you on the next one.